The late Boxing South Africa CFO Kenneth Mamosadi has been remembered by the Federation as a pillar of strength and for his gentle demeanour. Mamosadi was gunned down outside his Pretoria West home last Friday, just hours after the Sports Minister announced that the acting CEO Mandla Ntlanganiso would be the accounting authority for the embattled Federation. In a statement, BSA said the only item that was stolen was a cell phone. The Federation has appealed to the authorities to move swiftly in arresting the perpetrators and finding a motive for the senseless killing. The Federation has been in a state of uncertainty after the board appointed by the minister was stopped from doing their work after 24 hours due to a court interdict brought by the Promoters Association, who claim due consultation was not concluded. Well, to speak more about this tragedy is Boxing South Africa's acting CEO, Mandla Ntlanganiso. A very good evening and welcome to Newzroom Afrika. What is the latest from the police after Friday's incident?
Good evening, Vaylen and viewers. At this stage, we are still waiting for feedback from the law authorities. At this stage, they are still handling the matter, and we're informed that when the time is correct, where they will inform us in terms of the updates, with regards to the case. So we are also waiting patiently, hoping that there will be some breakthrough, around this particular case.
How worried are you about the safety of other members or associates of Boxing South Africa?
Well, of course, it's quite a shock that have really, made all of us, to be devastated, and we don't know at this stage, where is this coming from. However, we are saying that once the law, enforcement authorities have done, the due diligence on this particular case, we will be able, to track where is this coming from. Of course. Safety is quite key. Safety is quite important for all the members, of the entity, and we hope and trust that maybe this is not anything related, to the work that the CFO was doing.
How do you yourself feel currently in your position? We know that just on Friday, the minister had appointed you as the accounting authority for Boxing South Africa.
Well, for me, it's just a matter of delivering, on the mandate of nation building, because as public servants, our role is to make sure that we deliver, on the mandate that is put out there for us, to make sure that within the sporting fraternity there is nation building, there is a social cohesion. So when the minister announced this, for me, it was a matter of a vote of confidence. From the highest office within the sporting fraternity, which I don't take it light. This is a service, that I am bringing, to the people of this country to make sure that the sport that is so loved, goes back to where it belongs. The sport that is so loved, across the provinces, across the nation, across racial lines, goes back to where it belongs. Because this is one sport that was once a number 2 sport in the country. Things happened in the, previous years and, it dropped. But I think now we are in an opportunity to make sure that we work hard, to make sure the sport goes back to the glory days.
So you yourself are not concerned about your own safety?
Yes, of course. The issue of safety is quite important, as I said, for all of us. And I believe that, necessary measures, will be taken with regards to that particular issue.
Can you tell us a little bit about the kind of person that Kenneth was? He was remembered by Boxing South Africa for his gentle demeanour and being a pillar of strength. In your statement today, the Federation said that they are at a loss after losing a friend and a valued colleague. Can you tell us a little bit more about the person that he was and how important he was to the boxing community?
Wow, Vaylen, when I got the news, the first question I asked myself, who would kill a soft and a sweet soul, like Mr. Kenneth Mamosadi. Yesterday when we were at his family, I said that he's always a peacemaker around the office. He's the one, who was like a glue, as he was heading the finance unit, he's the one who's making sure that, everyone is working, smoothly. And, a very good gentleman, soft-spoken, the way he does, his work, diligently. And, really, we are very, very heartbroken, the situation here in the office, the environment today was a totally different environment, starting from the security downstairs, as I was chit-chatting with them, today, saying that, no, man, today they saw that there is something missing, because he's always greeting everyone when, when he's coming in, so really we have lost, a valuable member of the team. We have lost, a brother. We have lost a friend, even in our meetings, he was always having those side jokes, just to calm, even if we were in tense situations, he's the one who would come up with jokes just to calm the situation because he was not very fond of, conflict, So we really, really lost, a gem, in the office. We have lost someone really, because tomorrow we were going for a strategic plan. There were quite some tasks, that, I given to him in terms of making sure that there is a turnaround when it comes to the finances of the organization, and I believe that, he was almost complete with that particular task, as he gave me the progress last week. Now, we need to go back to the drawing board. Unfortunately, we need to cancel the strategic plan and, wait for the funeral to be done. Then we go back to the drawing board, and we are not sure whether, there's someone that we will get, to fill his shoes, will be as good as Kenneth was. So indeed, it is a very, very sad moment for all of us. Even the licensees across the board, we've been getting messages, we've been getting, some comforting messages because he was also, fond of the licensees, and I believe that, it's a loss for everyone, more so, for the family, the friends, that were very much close, to him because we've even further our relationship, not only as colleagues, but as brothers, within the office as brothers and sisters, that's the kind of relationship that we have because we are almost a young team here. I think almost 99% of the team here is just below 50 years. So, we had that jovial spirit, around our CFO, and we certainly lost him, without expecting, this to happen to such a good man like Mr. Mamosadi.
How are the Federation supporting his family?
As I said, we were there yesterday just to, pay our respects, and tomorrow we are going there again, as a full team because yesterday it was just a few of us because the news was still new. Of course, there are some communication that is between us and the family together with the department. When everything is done and signed, we will communicate. But we are working very hard as from, yesterday to make sure that we support the family as much as we can with whatever that we can support with. Of course, the Ministry of Sport as well, is involved in making sure that we will organize a particular good send-off for our colleague, servant of the nation. I believe that he deserves, a very, very good send-off.
How many years was he working with Boxing South Africa?
Kenneth started around 2019, 2018. Then he got promoted last year as a CFO. So we're still looking forward. And in the 1st of March, he was going to be finishing his first year as a CFO. And, we were looking forward to celebrate that milestone with him, and unfortunately now he is no longer with us.
Acting CEO of Boxing South Africa, Mandla Ntlanganiso, remembering his slain CFO who was gunned down outside of his home, Mr. Kenneth Mamosadi. Thank you so much for chatting to us.